One of the youngest signatories of the Giving Pledge is Dustin Moskovitz, co-founder of Facebook, along with his wife, Cari Tuna. I've been asking her, along with other signatories of the Giving Pledge, what motivates them.
I think Dustin's experience has made us really optimistic about the world, the direction in which the world is heading. So we see technological progress and economic growth as really powerful, positive forces in the world, and we feel like we need to work as hard as we can to take advantage of those forces, to help bring disadvantaged people along, and to mitigate the risks that could derail humanity's progress. In terms of my experience, I think being a journalist has really given me an ability to ask good questions and sort of inquisitiveness, a curiosity that really comes in handy. I love this work. I think it's actually quite similar to journalism in the sense that I'm learning about new things every day and really trying to become a fast expert in many different areas. Well, the attraction of global health and development is that dollars can just go so especially far in very poor places. So that's what initially led us to that area, and then we've honed in on things like bed nets and cash transfers because they're especially cost effective, they have especially strong evidence of impact, and they have room for more funding. So vaccines are an incredible intervention. We found less ability to fund further delivery of vaccines. That's why we've focused in on areas like bed nets and cash transfers. And these charities were recommended to us by an organization called GiveWell, which researches charities and charitable causes and makes recommendations to donors to help them decide where to give.
And tell me about that process then as well. How does one rank a cause like bed nets versus, well, I read something about asteroids being on your spreadsheet,
oh, sure.
right?
Yeah.
So I mean, how on earth is one ranking these apples and these oranges?
So there are three criteria we consider when we are looking for possible focus areas. One is importance. How many people does this cause affect and how deeply? The second is tractability. How easy will it be to make progress or difficult? The third is crowdedness. How many other philanthropists are already working on this problem? I think criminal justice reform in the US is a great example. That's an area that's incredibly important. We have an exceptionally high incarceration rate in the United States that has a disproportionate effect on underprivileged communities and a huge fiscal burden. And so how do we reduce mass incarceration while maintaining or improving public safety? That's exceptionally tractable because there's growing interest on both sides of the aisle in the US in taking on this problem. And it's relatively uncrowded, so there aren't many other philanthropists who are already focused on it, although there are some.
The uncrowded nature of this is very interesting to me. It's almost like you're picking an untapped market. It's very business-like. Do you get a sense that the Silicon Valley folk are approaching these problems in a different way?
That's a great question. It's really hard to generalize because everyone has their own take, their own strengths, and brings kind of a different perspective to philanthropy. But we are always thinking for ourselves about what impact is our marginal dollar going to have. I do think the earlier you start, the more time you have to learn how to give effectively. And it does take time. That's been the biggest challenge for us so far is how much time it takes to learn, especially when you're looking at many possible focus areas before really diving into one. So my advice would be, start as early as you can, start small and grow from there. And really try and be open-minded, try and be open to many possibilities because the more open you are, the more likely you'll be to find those, under-investigated opportunities.